Friends, welcome back. We are Aaron is voguing. Hello. That's good, Aaron. Vogue, baby, Vogue. Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of the Mindful CEO. And I think our last episode, which is not yet live for you at the time we're recording this, because that's on me. Aaron made me go back last time and record an intro. We had to go back and record something that
Oh,
explained
right,
it.
right, right.
So
It's
I
weird.
have to edit some shit to get that done. But anyway,
Oh, that's
um,
never going to happen. Okay.
no, I'll get it done. I have to drag out the old computer that has the software that lets me do it the way I want. Anyway, it's a whole
Oh,
thing.
wow.
Okay, so but here's the point. What I wanted to say about that was we brought you into like a real conversation of two partners having, figuring something out. And I think in the spirit of that, we thought we'd pick up today a continuation of that conversation. And I don't know how you want to set that up, Aaron, but
I think that's fine. I think that's a good way to set up. Okay, I do have a question though, was this voguing before Madonna or is only voguing because of Madonna?
I know it as voguing because of Madonna, but
I
that
do
you're older than
too.
me,
I'm
so
curious though, was it voguing before Madonna? I don't think it was. I think it's just the song Vogue and what they did on the video. But
somebody choreographed that.
yeah, yeah, I don't think there was a thing called voguing before Madonna. Yeah, but I don't know. It's, hey,
Yeah.
if
Hey.
one of the three or four people listening happens to know the answer there,
That's right.
it's
That's right. Let us
very
know.
important to me. Not important enough for me to look it up or do anything other than just what I did. But
That's right.
there you go. Yeah, I think that's a fine way to set up the show. I think so to put a finer point on it or
Mhm. Yeah.
to really look to see where what direction we're taking the crayon for a walk in. Um, it's in the direction of the power of practices, like what constitutes a practice, why practices, what's their utility. One thing I realized, Chris, is Gail, remember Gail Wilmore? She was a
Yes. Yes.
guest,
She was on our
right?
show. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Um, Friend of mine, and she got a copy of my book 6 months ago. It's funny. She got a copy of my book whenever that episode was. So it's at least 6 months ago.
Oh, uh-huh. Yeah.
And then I got a text a couple of days ago from her saying I read it, or how should I be reading this? It was and the thing that I thought was funny about it is because I don't have her number in my phone. So, anytime I get a text from someone I don't know that says, "Hi, Aaron," I
Uh-huh.
always think, okay, is this a scam? What is this?
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
right? So I had to figure out that it was Gail. But um, she was asking, why am I bringing that up? Um, why am I bringing that up?
Well, we're putting a finer point on the where we're taking the crayon for a walk, and you're
Right.
talking about
About
practices. And this episode's really we're looking at
right.
the practices that bring something into existence.
And she was asking how I wanted her to read. Oh, this is why. Because she was asking me how I wanted her to read it. From what perspective was I looking for feedback?
Yeah.
From Gail personally, from a professional standpoint, from how she would use it, from how someone else would use, whatever. It was just, which I thought was A, an interesting question, and B, one I didn't have an answer to right away. I had to think about it. Um, and one of the things that came up out of that dialogue, that back and forth there was one of the things and this has come up in our mastermind regularly, Chris, so this won't be news to you, but it was news to me. And that is, I think one of my highest concerns with the book for sure, the course, and this and the mastermind for sure is it useful?
Sure.
Is it, does it, yeah, is it useful? Can you use this for something?
Right.
Um, and if it's not useful, then I'm really not particularly interested in it. I'm not,
Right.
uh, you know, I, it's funny because, there's some anti-mindfulness aspect of it when I say it that way, right? Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't just do something to do something, but that's an sort of an ultimate mindfulness way to do it is to do it just to do it,
Uh-huh.
right? So there's something anti-mindfulness about looking for the utility of something. What can
Right.
I
Right.
use this for? At the same time, oh, this is good. This is the paradox. At the same time, doing something just to do it does have a massive utility to it.
Mm,
If I can train myself to do things without in an order to happening,
right.
right? That's useful to me. That's useful to me.
It's useful.
It's useful. It's look, and I'll say it this way, being wrapped around the axle of in order to or trying to get somewhere is not useful,
Mm, mm.
right?
Uh,
But you got
yeah.
that.
Yes.
But we could rip on that for a long time because really doing something to get that result and have to do that is not a useful way to do something.
Yeah.
And I am flat-footed about that. I don't, it's not a question for me. It's not like, oh, I don't know, maybe. No, for me, it's very clear. If I'm stuck on producing that result, that's not a useful orientation to life.
Yeah.
But letting go of needing any particular result and doing the thing to do the thing and having the moment be fulfilling in the moment and learning what it takes to have that happen is useful, which I know is very paradoxical. I don't know, very works in that sense, right? Or things are either paradoxical or they're not. I don't think
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
the
It's an
degrees
extra
to
paradox. It's
right
an extra
degrees to
paradox.
paradoxic paradoxitude.
It's a 10th level paradox. You have to pay
Yes,
for
black
your
belt.
master belt to
Yeah,
get the 33rd
right,
level paradox.
right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's funny to
So
me
wow,
because before you stumbled into that, it was like look, I really want this to be useful, as if like it's, like there was a certain way that lives for you in your head, like, oh, people would put it in their calendar, or people would, I don't even know how that occurs for you, but versus, I don't know, it just seemed like it had a certain way you wanted it to be useful. And then,
I want people to be able to turn to it and find value in it to
yeah.
actually be able to, like any other tool, any other,
Yeah, but I
um,
don't think you get to say you could design something to be valuable and people could use it with for that intended purpose. But things like this aren't as they're not widgets. It's not like this is a screwdriver, here's how you use it. This is like, I remember, I think I told you back in the day, I like Rob Bell quite a bit and some of his
who?
work. Rob Bell. He was a mega church pastor back in the day and has been since been labeled a heretic, and because he said there was no hell and love wins and God is love and stuff. Anyway, but I
Weak
love
ass
Rob Bell.
shit right there.
Uh,
That is some weak
uh,
woke.
I love Rob Bell. Oh man, he's so great. What a great mind. Anyway, but I bring it up because he shit. Why did I bring that up? What you were doing. Like, oh, why did I bring that up? Maybe Gail Wilmore knows I brought that
No,
up.
all right. So we were talking about you thought that I had you could design something, but you can't guarantee the way someone's going to
Oh
use
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks. So as a pastor, he would spend hours every week getting his Sunday message ready, and like just and be like, this is what I want people. This is how this would be useful for people. This is how I want people to really hear this. And then he would share it, and people would inevitably come up and be like, "Wow, I really love what you said. It made me think about this thing in my life that's completely unrelated to anything you said, and it really made a difference for me." And he got for himself that. He's like, I pour all this time to intend a particular message to come through, and people come up to me and tell me it made a difference in some way I didn't intend. So it was useful, but it wasn't useful in the way he designed it. It was useful in the way they received it. Anyway,
Good, but that's all right. Good. We're going to have to find our way back to practices at some time here, but
because that would be
um,
useful.
well, yeah, because practices have a utility to them. But so he designed it to be useful in one way.
Yeah.
He designed, yeah, yeah. So I think that's part of the paradox is, you know, you can just like your kids, you let them go and then they
Hmm.
go do what they do. The tools you invent, the conversations you craft.
Hmm.
Are you willing to have them, be out in the world free range
Right.
roaming the
Right. Right.
planet, making the difference they're out to make, they want to make,
Right.
right? And seeing what comes back. That's really taking the crayon for a walk. But the intention of it being useful,
Yeah.
I think, is important. And yeah, so when she asked me that, my response wound up being, I want it to be useful.
Hmm.
I want you to read it from, is this useful? Is this information useful? Is this book useful? Is it written in a way that's useful? Could someone use it?
Did I lose your audio? I lost that last
No,
that
no,
whatever you
I
just said.
stopped.
I can't hear you.
Oh,
That's weird.
you froze for me again.
Like it literally just I can't hear you.
Well, you're frozen for me. It was
Recording.
for me. So just so you know, that was
No, no,
your.
you from
No, 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 we're not doing this again. No, no. I'm right, you're wrong. This is not. I,
uh,
I think you got to be right the last one. Um, but my point was that I want people to look in its direction and go, oh yeah, that is helpful. That's useful to me. That can help me in some way that I want to be helped.
hmm.
And I a lot of different directions for that. But let's
I
just
know, right?
so anyway, that was, we so we're okay, back to practice. We had in the mastermind come across a conversation for what it takes to bring something, to keep something alive or bring something into existence.
Hmm.
You know, a business, we sort of laughed at the companies that have a vision statement, and when you ask an employee where what is it, they go, I don't know, it's in the manual in HR. They have created
Right.
it, but there's no practices
Yeah.
that would leave it available in the present moment to anyone who was was part of the future that vision
Right.
statement was creating. If it lives in a manual in HR, it's not useful.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no and you haven't invented practices. And we were go the example, the other side of that, all the way on the other side of that was the work that we used to do on staff at Landmark, or still do when people are on staff. Very high regard for what it takes to bring something into existence. There were multi-page, whenever we added something or changed something or created something new as a new place to stand or a new place to come from. In my 20 years as a program leader, we would take the time to read out loud to somebody else various documents that created some future. There was no hesitancy to dedicate the resources of the company, the time and the energy of the staff, to have them be grounded in this, whatever it was that we were creating. Without integrity, nothing works. That enrollment and registration are distinct ways of being, or two to pop off the top of my head, of things that we spent months, hours a week for months and months and months, generating and generating and generating what we meant by that, so that every staff member had an opportunity to be grounded in this new space, that it wasn't going to work to announce it and then not do anything about it.
Right.
That it wouldn't create what you wanted it to create.
Yep.
So there's that.
Yep.
So then what does it take to create? So that then got us down the road of, okay, well, there are practices that one does whenever one's bringing themselves into existence as something. And that's a direct conversation. It's one of the conversations I lead with the leaders training program at Landmark every year. Every time I lead that program, is what it takes to bring yourself into existence as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, yeah,
Right.
I had to shut the door. That's It takes something. You are constituted right now by the set of practices you have. You get up, you brush your teeth, you look in the mirror, you think something to yourself, you think, "Oh, I need a cup of coffee," whatever you do. Like you go to the gym as much as you go to the gym, make sure you kiss your wife as much times as you do. You don't do any of that stuff. But you're living the life that is given to you by the set of the things you practice.
Yeah.
The things you do over and over and over give you your life. I don't think that's an
Right.
assailable statement. I think that's unassailable.
Yeah.
You are a function
Yeah.
of the things you do repeatedly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you wanted to bring yourself into existence, if you wanted to create some other reality for yourself in your life, for some other way to be, you wanted to be a leader, you wanted to be a writer, you want to be a speaker, you want to be, you know, you want a new career, you want to be married, you would need new practices. You couldn't do what you're doing now and expect a new result. Sort of boils down to that.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
practices are what bring forth any way of being. New practices will bring forth a new way of being. And it takes an immense amount of intentionality to bring something new into existence because you're already doing stuff that's
Right.
keeping the old you into existence. Not only do you
The,
have to stop doing those things, but you got to start doing new things. Okay, I've talked over you three times. What do you got?
no, no, it's good. It's good. And the only piece I want to add to that then is using the cathedral metaphor is um, that your practices are determined by or given by the cathedral you're building. If I'm going to go build a barn, then I might need different tools. Or yeah, it's not a bad. It's a bad example. If I'm going to build a well, that's a different thing I'm building, and I'm going to build a cathedral. The practices I take on should come from the intention that I have. So I say that because I part of bringing all of you listeners, all of you, into this working session that Aaron and I just started was all of this was set up for. I had said to you before we hit record, like it'd be interesting for you and I to have a set of our own documents for the mindful CEO about, well, what are we doing? What's our intention, and what practices can we put around it, or what, we don't have anything in writing about what our infinite game is or what our values or
Mhm.
charter are. And so we can't visit those or have practice. This is a practice, but isn't this is a practice of taking the crayon for a walk, and it's helpful, it's useful. It would be even more useful if we have clarified what we're trying to bring forth into, what we're trying to generate or create.
Totally agreed. Totally agreed. I mean, this is useful in that it shows how to take a crayon for a walk, and it's sort of fun and it's light. But we haven't. I don't think we've publicly declared here on this show at all, but certainly not often, the direction we're headed, like what we're out to accomplish. Like, what is it? What is the cathedral we're building here? Right? Because
Yeah.
I don't think you and
Yeah.
I have talked about it in a while. Like,
And maybe it's changed. I don't know. We've had different things that were like, hey, this could serve that intention,
right.
but is that still it? I don't know. I mean, and I think you've had some different things that have gotten clear for you since we started this thing 3 years ago. Like
Yeah, totally. All
you're,
right, well, let's put some frame on it. Let's do some work. So first of all, one of the things is for me that this be deemed useful by people who are watching it in terms of its ability to fulfill on what it means to be a mindful CEO.
uh,
And we could put some meat on that bone, but people should look in this direction and go, "Oh yeah, that's somehow listening to the show." And I've had this thing with the mastermind for a while, like, is this useful or are we just rambling? Is this,
yeah,
is this a useful hour for people? Or
yeah,
is it, not? So it's got to be
right.
useful, right? Um, and that's the important part there, you know, that it be useful. Now, what is it to be a mindful CEO? What is it? What are we intending it be used for? Because like Pastor Rob, you're going to use it how you use it. but what, we're intentional that, um, what are the, I don't know, we came to some pillars, we've bandied about certainly that the pillars of Tantra were interesting, but if we were going to get down to our core values about it, I think curiosity and a willingness to uh, take the crayon for a walk,
Uh,
you know.
I think yeah, there are like in my mind, there's a couple ways to
Oh yeah, you're the pillar guy. You're my
like you can build this from the from the practices up to the premise, or you can start with the premise and work your way down into the tenets or the pillars, the practices. But it's easier for me to wrap my head around like what's the possibility we're standing for? What's the possibility of the mindful CEO? How does that, what is that future we're creating? From there, once that's sort of has some meat on that bone, then we're like, yeah, well, what values support that? Because you could have a list of a million values, but what values do we want to revisit that say these values support that intention or possibility? So to you, what's the possibility of the conversation called the mindful CEO?
that something in the domain, something around, the ability to achieve ever ever increasing or ever more exciting results with less effort and more alignment. I think that's the most exciting thing to me about being a mindful CEO is the ability to achieve, produce, expand, breakthrough, expanding, astounding, unforeseen results. I don't know what words we want to put in there, but the ability to produce ever increasing, I don't know, increasing is the right word, but ever more fulfilling
Sure. Okay.
results in
Hmm.
any area with without struggle through alignment.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, how
I
would you
was like,
wordsmith that?
yeah. Well, I was just thinking about how I was like the space of taking that thought then into the future of a world that's operating that way, that has practices attached. What does the world look like when people in business, when business or industry itself is
Mm.
achieving ever increasing or fulfilling more exciting results in any area with less effort or without struggle and more alignment? Like, what does politics look like? What does education look like? What does parenting look like? Um, and I sit with that to just be like, one, I guess to get inspired or enrolled in that possibility. Like, yeah, damn, that's how many people are. And sometimes to find that inspiration, I can just look at the opposite of the possibility, like in politics, education, parenting, how much of ever expand how many people feel like they have expanding, fulfilling, exciting results? I think they don't. I think they feel stuck. I think people feel trapped. I think people are confused. And it's not with less struggle, it's with more struggle. It's and so I think about it, I go, God, that's such a great possibility that the mindful CEO could stand for as a conversation, as a
Yeah.
cathedral.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. That's how I get
Um,
enrolled in those things. I'm like, fuck, that's really good. I love that. Yeah.
yeah. So then it goes a little bit beyond, slaying the dragon and hustle culture,
Right. Yeah, good point.
right? Which is useful, but it's more like producing. It's not really so much producing it. It's more like accessing.
Hmm.
It's like replacing the dragon of hustle culture with the sloth of possibility.
Yeah, that's good. Put it on a hat. Let's sell it. Yeah. Oh God.
Sloth of possibility.
Sloth of possibility. Oh.
Sloth's not the right answer, but it's no, you know what it is? It's the panda of possibility.
Oh, there you go. Oh God.
Because we love
That's good.
pandas. Who doesn't love
Oh my
pandas,
God.
right? Who
Pandas are
doesn't love
hilarious.
pandas? Pandas are the best. They're just everything about pandas works. Everything about pandas works.
The panda of possibility. I
It
love it.
is. We are the pandas of possibility. Big, fat pandas of possibility.
So funny. That's our new logo. It's not
Totally. I'm
it's not a triangle. It's
it's
a
the panda.
panda.
It's a panda of possibility.
Oh God. That's great.
It's awesome. It's awesome. They're big, they're fat, they're fun. They play.
I never knew
There's
they did somersaults. I saw Poe do it in Kung Fu Panda, and I just thought that
total
was something cute.
somersaults.
But
They do it for no
oh my,
reason other than they enjoy it.
that's
They
great.
do all kinds of shit because there's no other reason that they do it than they enjoy it.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
it's
God.
it's a they're it's great. And there you get to say I'm not a big fat panda, I'm the big fat panda.
Uh-huh.
Just really and
That's
that
awesome.
movie is there's a movie there's a trilogy where well I don't know
Oh
about
yeah.
the other two, but
Yeah. I liked one
we
and two a lot.
rewatched it recently and it was pretty spot
Such
on.
such good humor. I love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
And it fits directly inside the whole mindfulness context, you know,
Yeah.
everything about it. You just,
So yeah.
he just gets to
Yeah.
be more you. Everything about the message, everything about it.
Yeah.
So
So
panda
inner peace, inner
possibility.
peace,
That's
inner
right.
peace, inner peace, inner
Whoop,
peace.
inner peace. Right.
Inner peace.
That's
Yeah.
right. Replace the dragon with hustle culture with the panda possibility.
Oh God.
I am
That
down.
was good alignment there. That was like an adjustment. That was a
Well,
spiritual
it
adjustment that just
was, it
happened.
was. And that then brings into existence
Yeah.
imagery,
Uh-huh.
conversations,
Uh-huh.
connections
Yeah.
that, all shoot out into the direction that would keep something, bring the right space into existence.
Yeah.
Possibility pandas.
Yeah. That might be enough for this episode. I think
Yeah.
I'd like later on to explore with you
The
strategy, which is
practices of a possibility
the
panda?
yes,
Yeah,
practices.
don't fucking you come at me with your alliteration, bitch. I got it today.
Yes, you did.
That's
With
what we bring tomorrow. Tomorrow to the mastermind.
nice. The panda's a
We're
possibility.
developing. We are the pandas of possibility.
Nice. And then in a future episode, I'd like to look at strategy because that'll be interesting because that's strategy for me is useful because it kind of helps you and me get on the same page about like, well, how do we grow this? But at the same time, you got to
Yes.
be mindful that it's not in order to, or it's not this hustle culture thing. It's the pandas a possibility with strategy. I don't,
Yeah. Is it
yeah,
fun? Is it, does it
yeah,
light you up?
yeah.
Is it consistent with you being you? What was the scroll? What was that scroll called? The dragon scroll.
Oh, the emerald something.
No, the dragon scroll, the thing that
Oh, the dragon scroll. Yeah, yeah, the dragon
it
scroll.
was
Yeah,
just blank. It was just a mirror.
right, 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 right. The dragon
Yes.
scroll. Love it.
Skadoosh.
Skadoosh. Yeah, so good. All right. Well,
Excellent.
friends, if
All
you want to
right.
go
Well, now
watch
we're ending with that. Skadoosh.
Skadoosh, you should go watch Kung Fu Panda. Do you want to point people anywhere?
Um, yeah, you can get to the Realtor's Edge that has the on-demand version of living a grateful life in a fucked up industry, rolling out a
The
version of
realtorsedge.com, right? The realtorsedge.com.
realtorsedge.com.
Yeah.
The live version of How to Live a Grateful Life in a Fucked Up World is coming, I believe, January 15th. It's going to be, I have to time it with the book. It's going to be released, um, which is soon. I'm recording the audio version next week. We're starting
Nice.
to. So hopefully that'll be out. And then there'll be a workbook that you can buy and buy both of them. And, we'll do it that way.
Yeah.
Uh,
Love it.
yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. Rock and roll.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Rock.
man. See you, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.